this to my friends who had children. You're 7 years old and someone is stroking. It feels good. Right. Even though you don't have a name for what that is, it feels good. And when I first said this years ago, people were like, you're crazy because everybody wants to believe it's like sexual, you're being thrown up against the wall and you're being. And I have said for years, if the abuser is any good, you won't even know it's happened. You will be in it and you won't even know it's happened. And if the abuser is any good, he or she is going to make you feel like you're a part of it. I mean, and nothing is more being a part of it than what we discussed earlier.
Allegedly, her first real taste of Hollywood didn't come with fame or flashing cameras. It came with something far darker. Early in her career, right after she dared to speak out, after that chilling expose about babies being sacrificed behind closed doors, that's when everything changed. Because according to whispers now spreading fast, that moment wasn't just journalism, it was initiation. That's when Oprah didn't just realize how the industry worked. She was quietly shown how power is really earned in Hollywood and the price people pay for it.
Well, there would be rituals in which babies would be sacrificed and you would have to,
Whose babies?
There were people who bred babies in our family. No one would know about it. A lot of people were overweight, so you couldn't tell if they were pregnant or not. Or they would supposedly go away for a while and then come back.
Wait, so you witnessed the sacrifice?
Right. When I was very young, I was forced to participate in that, in which I had to sacrifice an infant.
And the purpose of sacrifice is to what? Is to bring you what? What are you sacrificing for?
For power.
And let's be honest for a second. People keep saying there's no way she could have been standing shoulder to shoulder with Hollywood's most powerful players, sitting in those private rooms, attending those off-the-record gatherings, and somehow stayed completely clueless. Come on, you don't get that close to the fire without feeling the heat. So the real question isn't if she knew, it's how much she knew. What exactly has Oprah seen behind those velvet curtains? Are there quiet connections nobody wants to talk about, whispers tying her name to that infamous island? Was she simply a bystander, or something more involved? Some even go darker, claiming she operated as a gatekeeper, a supplier, a middlewoman for the elite. And then there's the wildest rumor of all, the one people only repeat in hushed voices. That somewhere, hidden far from the cameras, there's a private dungeon with her name attached, a place where unthinkable things supposedly happen. Crazy? Maybe. But here's where it gets interesting. Because allegedly, Samuel L. Jackson has the tea.
That was a sign on the wall in the Die Hard office that I never forgot. It said, "Be careful of the toes you step on today, for they could be connected to the you have to kiss tomorrow."
I mean, if anyone would understand how those backroom deals really work, it would be him. Samuel's been in Hollywood for nearly 50 years. 5 decades inside the machine. He's walked the red carpets, shaken the hands, sat at the same private tables most of us will never even hear about. He's appeared on Oprah's show more than once. Smiling, laughing, playing along. And they've been photographed together at countless elite events like they've known each other forever. So yeah, if there were secrets in those rooms, he'd probably know. Now here's where things get complicated. Because despite the avalanche of Epstein documents unsealed in 2024 and 2025, thousands of pages, names flying everywhere, reputations collapsing overnight, Oprah's name doesn't show up as a co-conspirator. She's not listed as a passenger on the Lolita Express either. No flight logs. No direct charges. Nothing that screams guilt. But her name does appear. And that's where the whispers start. One mention comes from Sarah Ferguson, the former Duchess of York, who reportedly emailed Epstein back in 2011 asking for advice about an upcoming interview on Oprah's show. Random? Maybe. Or maybe not. Then there are other references floating around, harder to verify. Like an alleged email from Deepak Chopra asking whether they said the cabinets were large, heavy-duty industrial units meant for hospitals and schools. Nothing more. They blamed the insane prices on an automated algorithm, saying when stock ran low or there was a pricing error, the system would spike the cost sky high to discourage purchases while keeping the listing active for search engines. And the names? They claimed those came from a massive database of first names. Easier than assigning complicated serial numbers to every single rug, pillow, or cabinet. Simple. Boring. Logical. But here's the thing. People didn't buy it. Not for a second. Because once suspicion sets in, every explanation sounds like a cover story. And to this day, there are still people who swear something shady was happening behind the scenes. And that Oprah was somehow connected. Then there's something that isn't a rumor at all. Something real. The Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls in South Africa. Back in 2007, the school was rocked by a sexual abuse scandal involving staff. It made headlines worldwide. Oprah flew out immediately, apologized face-to-face with the girls, promised accountability, and cleaned house. The matron was later acquitted. Case closed. Officially. But for critics, it became another red flag, another coincidence, another shadow. And people started asking darker questions. Like, what about the reports of girls who allegedly went missing from the Haiti school connected to her charity work? Why does every story feel half-answered? Half-hidden? Too many loose ends.
Same tier, the same cell that Epstein was on. And Suge, there's no way in hell that guy could have committed suicide on that tier. I was in there for 7 months. There's no way.
And coming from you, I know you didn't know the truth. And I personally didn't think he was going to commit suicide. But the thing is, he had from Oprah Winfrey to everybody on that island. You know, anybody with a weird fetish, and that's what underage kids was on that island, and everybody knew it.
Well, and now the spotlight shifts again, because the next name being pulled into the storm, Samuel L. Jackson. If anyone's about to talk, it's him. And let's be real, this isn't some random celebrity chasing clout. This is a man who's been inside Hollywood's walls longer than most of these executives have been alive. Over 50 years in the game. Half a century watching how power really moves. He's already called out the industry before, the fake smiles, the backroom deals, the systemic bias, the cynical business practices nobody wants to admit exist. He's never been afraid to say what others whisper. Which is exactly why people are paying attention now. Because if Samuel says he knows something, he's not guessing. He's seen it. Think about it. He started as a struggling theater actor back in the early 70s. Before the glam. Before the billion-dollar franchises. Before Hollywood turned into a corporate empire. He watched it all grow and rot at the same time. He survived the era when studios blacklisted you for breathing wrong. He fought through the crack epidemic in the 80s and his own very public battle with addiction. He clawed his way from token side roles to becoming the highest-grossing actor of all time. That kind of journey doesn't just earn you money. It earns you access. Front row seats. Private rooms. Conversations regular people never hear. So yeah, if he hints that something's happening behind the curtain, baby, he knows. Which is why people are leaning in now, waiting for what he might reveal about Oprah and those alleged island connections. Because if someone like him starts talking, that's not gossip anymore. That's testimony. But here's the bigger question everyone keeps circling back to. After all the photos, all the names, all the rumors, all the coincidences. Who is Oprah really? Is she some kind of untouchable mastermind, the final boss of Hollywood's hidden underground? The quiet power at the top that nobody dares challenge? Or is she just the most successful social butterfly in history? Someone who flew too close to too many dangerous people and got burned by association? Two completely different stories. Same woman. And depending on who you ask, she's either a villain or just unlucky. So what do you think? Is Oprah exactly what people fear she is? Or is this all smoke with no fire? Drop your thoughts below. Because this rabbit hole, it's far from over.